Alright, hello and welcome to this video. We're going to be talking about a bunch of different public transportation topics here, with the main message being that we can't always blame NICE for everything. Alright, look, there are things, obviously, bus service has gotten a lot worse. And, I miss the old MTA Long Island bus. But I do have to understand something, that the old MTA Long Island bus was also part of the old MTA. An MTA that actually cared about people. An MTA that didn't serve just snobs. An MTA that served everybody. All right? But that MTA doesn't exist anymore. And so with Long Island bus being gone, that MTA that existed when Long Island bus was around doesn't exist anymore. Because the MTA is screwing everybody. And of course, Janno Lieber is all part of this. He's a Wall Street hack, limousine liberal appointed by the governor to run the MTA. Instead of Andy Byford, who should have been MTA chair because Andy Byford cared about people. But Andy Byford didn't play by Wall Street's rules, and therefore Andy Byford is not with the MTA anymore. He got out and left. So did Phil A. Instead, we have a bunch of Wall Street hacks. And the problem is they are there to price us out and force us out of New York. And so in this video, I'm going to go over several policies that the MTA has that are driving people out of New York. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is how they treat people with disabilities in the reduced fare program. So we're going to go over here and talk about the fact that obviously I made a video yesterday about the fact the MTA is basically telling reduced fare MetroCard users that forget about it. We don't care about you. We want you to use the Omni, but the Omni only works in the city mostly. All right? So that is what's going on, and we can't use it on Nice Bus. We can't use it on Beeline, and they won't support reduced fare, easy pay, reduced fare MetroCard anymore. And in fact, they have a whole thing about view a webinar about reduced fare Omni, how to use your reduced fare Omni card, the letter about it. So again, this is the letter that I got, that I went over yesterday. We're proud to excited to go over Omni, to force pair to Omni, force people to Omni, but Omni is not accepted on Nice Bus and Beeline. And so you still have a lot of people using MetroCard. MetroCard is not going to be phased out for at least another year. So why are they in such a rush to continue reduced fare MetroCards? All right? So, and how to apply with reduced fare MetroCards. They only allow you to apply in person or by mail. There is no online portal to apply. And it says right here, reduced fare MetroCard customers. If you ride Nice or Beeline, you continue to use your reduced fare MetroCard, but you're not distributing any more reduced fare MetroCards. You discontinued the Easy Pay reduced fare MetroCard program. So that is just wrong. And look at this. They might take up to 3 months to process because they're not giving any more reduced fare MetroCards. It's only you have to wait 3 months for a reduced fare Omni card, which is BS. It's bad enough that you cannot apply online or by. They make it very difficult, and we already know that you cannot use reduced fare on weekday mornings on the Long Island Railroad on inbound Metro North and Long Island Railroad Metro North trains, which again is discrimination. How they get away with this, I don't know. But the MTA treats us like dirt. And it's obvious the MTA is instrumental in trying to force people out of New York because of their leadership, because they serve Wall Street. All right? Meanwhile, let's compare this to NJ Transit. All right? You can use NJ Transit at all times. And it's even cross-ironed on some private bus companies as well. And this seniors 62 and older and people with disabilities at any time on all trains or buses, all right? So they make things a lot easier, all right? You can apply online. You can also apply at a number of banks, savings and loan associations, or county associations, county offices. The MTA does none of that. None of that. All right? They do none of that. So you can apply online, and I have a card, though I'm going to have to update it to a newer card for reduced, really not having an NJ Transit reduced fare card, because I know, well, they're trying to force me out, but also so I can ride NJ Transit at reduced fares. All right? So NJ Transit cares about its people, because they care about everybody in New Jersey, not just the snobs, not just a certain demographic. They care about everybody. But we all know who Jano Lieber serves. He just serves the snobs. All right? Then we get to the disaster that is congestion pricing, congestion tax, or congestion fee that I'm glad New Jersey is fighting against. And it's one thing I do agree with President Trump on, is that this has to be killed, all right, because it's destroying people's lives. The MTA thinks this is such a great success. It's been such a great success from the governor. But ask the people north of 60th Street what a great success it is, and they'll tell you it's been hell, because guess where there's been less traffic in the congestion relief zone. There's less traffic going in there. Yeah, but the traffic has just moved to other areas. And this is just another way to price people out. These toll rates, $9, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for people. And then they charge trucks and commercial vehicles. I mean, people, it's not like you can take, if you're an electrician or work in the trades, it's not like you can take the train or take the subway. All right? There's some exemptions for people with disabilities, but not firemen. And the tolls are going to increase to $12 in 2028 and $15 in 2031. So the governor is acting like it's such a big discount. No, congestion pricing is not about more money for transit. It's not about that at all right? It's about pricing us out and forcing us out of New York. That's all it's about. It's about the plan. That's all it's about. The MTA have many other ways of getting revenue. They're not even doing anything about fare beating. Yeah, Jano. He runs his mouth, well, we were getting maybe only 30% of people pay the fare in the city. But what are you doing about it? You're not doing anything about it. So it's hard to feel sorry, oh, we're broke. Start enforcing the fares on the subway. All right? People jump the turnstile. They need to get charged with a crime because that's theft of services. All right? You try to get on a bus and you don't want to pay, well, you shouldn't be allowed on the bus. All right? The Long Island Railroad, they haven't gotten tough with fare beaters. I haven't seen them, or at the MTA, police may sometimes intervene. But also at Jano, there's so many times the conductor doesn't even come through to check my ticket. That happens a lot. All right? So you're crying you're broke, and yet, we have rampant fare evasion and failure to collect fares on trains. I mean, what a joke. What a freaking joke. And then you tell me, well, I'm taking away your reduced fare Metro card because we want you to switch to Omni. So now I've got to have to pay for Omni and the nice bus Go Mobile app. Really, because sometimes I'm in the city. All right? So what a joke. This guy is horrible. All right? Horrible. Horrible. Just horrible. Honestly. But he's there to represent Wall Street. They're all a bunch of Wall Street hacks. And then we get to the fact that I spoke about before. This isn't the same MTA that existed when Long Island buses happened, because they're ruining bus service in the city too. We have the Queens bus redesign, and as I've heard from people, the bus service in Queens has gone downhill a great deal since I've last taken it. There are a lot of no-shows, missing buses. At least they do tell you. But this redesign is horrible because they're taking away bus service on certain routes that go into the city, into Manhattan. They're actually discontinuing one of the routes that goes into Manhattan, I think. And I think this is the redesign system here. Not sure. This is so confusing. This is the new system. You have proposed local bus service. So this is the new system that they have, and we all know it's about cutting service. They're saying, oh, we're improving service, but they're really cutting service. They're changing the way these routes run, routes that have existed for many, many years, and forcing changes on the routes that they do have. All right, so we have the 46. See, I'm just going to look at some of this here, like I said, because 46, that's still going to stay the same, I guess, the 46. The 17, or it looks like the 17 still stays the same. But then you have a new route called the 45 that just ends in the middle of Fresh Meadows. Where the hell does that go? What are they doing with the 88s? They're doing a bunch of things here. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with Queens bus routes. But one thing that they are changing here is that the Nice bus, they only have one route serving JFK now. The 3, that's it. So they're cutting service to JFK. I mean, this is just terrible. I mean, the 52 and the 53 going to the Rockaways here. What else are they doing over here? And the 36 over here. Said I'm not too familiar with Queens bus routes, but I've heard from a lot of people that the Queens bus redesign is horrible, and we all know my colleagues at Passengers United are trying to stop it. What the 85 just ends here? I mean, it ends in the middle of nowhere. What are they doing here with these routes? I mean, this is just another way of cutting service and redistributing it, because I know there was a Q, 103 or some one of these routes that was rerouted to serve Astoria because a certain demographic lives there. So this is the kind of stuff that goes on. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with everything here. They can fill me in the comments here. Let's see, they're doing the 70. What are they doing? What are they doing here? I don't know what. Let's see what they're doing with Flushing here. The 12 and the 13. All right, 12 and the 13 look like they stay the same. No, they swapped them. So the 12 is going to go down Northern Boulevard. Oh, no. No, that's what they're doing. They're changing them around. Where's Nice Bus in this whole thing? I don't even see the N20G in here. They didn't even include Nice Bus in this. Yeah, they left Nice Bus completely out of this. You don't even see Nice Bus included in here. What? Really? So you don't even see Nice Bus included in this. But from what I've heard, they want to have Nice Bus carry passengers within Queens, which is ridiculous. I don't think they should. No, that's New York City's job. That's New York City's job. So this is the current setup, I guess. That's the current one. I'm trying to zoom out. I hate the way they redesigned this Acrobat thing here. Adobe Acrobat Reader. That's the existing system. This is the overnight network, which looks kind of express buses. Looks like they've taken away a lot of express bus service here. Taken away some of that. And they don't even show Nice Bus. They don't even show Nice Bus. But if they want Nice Bus to carry passengers in Queens, honestly, I think that's ridiculous. And, you know, honestly, I think Nice should say, you know what, we're not going to go into Queens anymore. We're going to end all the buses at the city line. Because you know what, if Nice Bus did that, they'd have the resources to bring back all the routes that were discontinued, like the N45, the N46, the 51, the 73, 74. All the routes are discontinued. Nice needs to focus on serving people in Nassau County, not Queens. Not Queens anymore. No. I don't think so. So end them at the city line. I'm sorry, but that's what should be done here. There's some alerts here that we're gonna they have a new timetable. They made new adjustments on some of these timetables here. We have a detour that they've posted here. But what I wish Nice Bus would do instead of, at least in New York, they usually tell people if there's runs missing due to driver availability using social media. Nice should do that, all right? But the MTA, really, all these different things that the MTA is doing are just trying to screw people. This is not acceptable. And honestly, and look, I've no Jano Lieber, used to like him, but he's become a Wall Street hack. I've also met the CEO of Nice, Jack Cows, and I don't know, he seems a lot nicer to me, all right? Just saying, more personable, all right? And with all this aggravation that's gone on with the end of the reduced fare Metro card at the MTA, Nice Bus actually, I had trouble getting that Go Mobile app, and they were actually very responsive, and we were able to get it running very quickly within like a couple of minutes of me messaging them. You would never get that kind of service from the MTA. I'm just saying, I'm not somebody who is in love with Nice Bus. As you know, I've complained a lot about them, but I have to understand something. That, yeah, I miss the old Long Island bus. I miss it tremendously, but this was part of a different kind of MTA. That MTA cared about the suburban areas. That MTA was much better run. The MTA we have now is run terribly, all right? So that's something I have to understand. It's hard for me to accept that, obviously. But the MTA is not the same as it was 15 years ago. It's become a much more corrupt organization that's really about serving the elites in the city, and screw the suburbs. They don't really care about Long Island or Westchester because of what they've done with the reduced fare MetroCard. All the money that's going, most of the money that's going from congestion pricing that they claim that they're getting is going to go to New York City. It's not even going to go to people in the suburbs. Yet it's mostly people in the suburbs that wind up paying those fees. It's ridiculous. And I really do hope President Trump kills congestion pricing. I would love to see him do it, honestly. And, that's what I think he should do. It needs to be stopped. New Jersey's against it. Yeah, people in both parties that are against it. But Jano Lieber, he thinks it's such a great idea. Well, Jano, what about the firemen who have to drive into the zone? What about our teachers? What about our the people who keep New York City running? Even the bus drivers and the subway people, the people who work for your company, they have to pay it too. All right. They can't afford to live here anymore. That's probably why so many buses are going missing in the city, Jano. That's probably why, because you're pricing them out. You're pricing the people who keep New York moving, the people who keep the machinery of New York City running. You're pricing them out. But you're so stuck up and snobby that you don't even understand that. And the same goes for Governor Hochul. She doesn't get it either. We'll put her on the screen because we have to. All right? The same thing with her. She doesn't get it. She wants to price us out, taking on sky-high utility costs and demanding action. It was your predecessor, Governor Andrew Cuomo, that shut down Indian Point. That cost Con Edison a lot of money. All right? Con Edison is one of the best electric companies in the country right now. All right? And she's going after Con Edison. How do you expect them to keep the infrastructure? You forced them to shut down cheap nuclear power in Indian Point. Well, your predecessor did, but she probably supported the closure of Indian Point, which was a huge mistake. But again, this is all about pricing us out. And we got to fight back. Look, Long Island is my home. I don't want to shut up and go live in New Jersey. They're trying to make us shut up and go live in New Jersey. I keep making these videos because I want more people to understand what's going on and start protesting about this kind of stuff. We need people who in this state who care about everybody. Look at the kind of people that New Jersey elects. Those are the kind of people we need to elect here in New York. No, not people like her, but people like Phil Murphy, all right? People like Phil Murphy, Governor Phil Murphy, or people like him. Right? He cares about everybody. All right, Josh Gottenheimer. I think let's say Gottenheimer. He's a U.S. representative, but he's running for governor. He's also somebody who cares about everybody. Common sense officials are what we need in this state, not limousine liberals like Kathy Hochul, not limousine liberals like Jano Lieber. Common sense Democrats. The kind you have in New Jersey. And we'll talk about Ned Lamont, too. Lamont, yeah, governor of Connecticut. He's also a common sense Democrat. Those are the kind of people we need in New York State. Not these limousine liberals. People who will look out for everybody. Because right now, the people that run New York, particularly Governor Hochul, she's just running her mouth about we're going to try to keep the costs in New York down. She hasn't done a damn thing to keep costs in this state under control. She turned her back on congestion pricing. And then she brought it back after the election. What a sneaky move to do. Oh, it's only $9. That's still a ton of money to people. $9 a day. Jano Lieber. It just goes along with, he's a limousine liberal, all right? Meanwhile, you won't allow reduced fare on morning trains. You took away our reduced fare Metro cards, Jano, all right? It's unacceptable. I know I could go to the meeting and speak and make a whole speech about this, but we all know how corrupt you guys are at the MTA. You're only going to look out for Wall Street. It's a waste of my time and money. I'd rather spend my time making videos so others really get involved here, because I'm done with these MTA board meetings. I don't do them anymore, as you know. I don't do them anymore, though I've considered it occasionally, and I can't rule it out in the future. But right now, I'm not planning on speaking at any more MTA board meetings because they are just such a joke. Again, it all started going downhill when Pat Foyt took over. Well, you had the other guy that came in, but Andy Byford should have been the chair and CEO of the MTA. He would have done a great job, and instead, we've got this Wall Street hack instead. So, unfortunately, that's what it is. But yeah, this was a video about the MTA. You know how much I miss the old Long Island bus. But this is what we have now. We have nice bus, all right? And you can blame Ed Mangano, but the MTA also kind of wanted it to happen too. Because the MTA doesn't care about the suburban areas, and they don't want to run bus service in the suburbs. They're city-centric now. We're lucky we have the Long Island Railroad at this point. All right? And obviously, we all know what they want. They want me to go shut up and live in New Jersey, where I'll be riding NJ Transit. That's what they want. And I know NJ Transit is nice. It's a lot better run than the MTA, but it's not my home. I don't want to go live there, man. You know? And we're being forced out of our homes. We're being forced out of our lives by these fucking Wall Street hacks like Janno Lieber. You know what? They can go to hell.